Before I even do that, I want to celebrate. Have we celebrated yet? Who just ranked to manager?
You're gonna have to remind me because
Okay. Tessa usually does it on her larger meeting, but she's not doing Wednesday night. And I don't know if your amazing girl is on, but is she on tonight? She may not be.
She's
Annie?
in Bali, but
Ooh.
she's having a little mini break. Can't see her on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, team. So just quickly tell us.
You're in.
Okay, and tell us about Annie really quickly, because we're all going to pop over to This Is It team after tonight and make sure we celebrate
I don't know. I'm
all
finished.
our larger team. I'll just turn. Yeah.
For sure. Annie had just went to manager. She is an amazing person. Not person, she's a lady actually. She is a firecracker of a lady. She just loves helping people. I've never seen anybody you can see her brain when she's heard about the patches, like, okay, who can I patch? It was never about her, even though she couldn't even lift her arm up. I just love her. I love her energy. She's always like trying to connect people. She really, like, she knows a good acupuncturist, she's going to send you to acupuncture. She knows a good yoga class, she's going to send it to me. Like, she's just a really good person, and she's gone to manager, and we are literally going to patch the crap out of Taiwan now. So that's really exciting.
That's awesome. Steph, over the last few weeks, anyone top of mind for you? Because you are ranking managers like crazy. You want to celebrate anyone?
Hi, everyone. So we had Cheryl, Sally. I've got to double check. I haven't even been able to get an update because my back office has been spinning. I think Jody. So both Sal and Jody, one's a sponsor, one's a follower, and I just want to acknowledge them. We've just been in action. I just love the enthusiasm. It's been so infectious, of getting people connected to the stories, the testimonies, the recordings, and we just love being in this community. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Your team is thriving, and I'm going to ask you a few questions in a minute about that. And then personally, we are so excited to acknowledge that Sandra, who is on today, ranked to manager yesterday. Today, it's still today. She ranked to manager. Where are you, Sandra? Come off mute. Say hi.
Excuse me, my voice is raspy from talking so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Got my earpods in. Yeah.
Just got to do this training.
Yeah.
Yes, Doug.
Yeah,
Sandra,
thank you.
tell us about what you've just done. Like, because this is just, you've been, of course, diligent the last few weeks. But just tell us about today and a few more that you've got going on. Just what's happened for you.
I've basically just started sharing it with everybody, and when they said 5, I'm like pushing for 5 every day. Excuse me. Oh, my voice is going because I've been talking so much.
Awesome.
But it's just a matter of I remember one of the people said it's a numbers game, because some will, some won't, and the people think you will, they don't, and the ones you think you won't will. So I've got about 4 more. One lady just rang. She said unfortunately she can't afford it, but I still want to patch her. I just still want to patch her for a couple of months, because I just know that it will help her so much. So I'm going to try and work out a way. I don't care, like, even if it costs me money. Honestly, I just want to see a result for her, because she may be able to drive again if her vision, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just got so much to say, but I probably said enough. That's what I'm stopping myself now. I'd say, okay, I've said enough. I'll leave you with the information. See you later. If you're interested, get back to me. If not, that's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, amazing. So can you just share with our team 4 more to sign up, a few more to sign up, hit manager. What is it? Like, what's the action when you say sharing with some people? What have you been doing to share?
I just try to express my own personal experience that I did get energy. First of all, I had a big detox, and one of my friends has actually put off like that. So I better wait till I go on holidays because I don't want to have a detox like you. And I said, but everybody's different, so it may not happen for you. You know, I thought just start, but you know, you've got to respect what people want to do, and so I just take the time with and. But yeah, basically just sharing, and the few people I've given a couple of patches to, and they kind of want to sit back and wait to see what happens. But I do try to, you don't want to try to convince people. You just want to say, well, the testimonies are there. It works. And hopefully they've got enough trust in you to say they believe you, that you've got a rapport with them. But then you get the skeptics who just are very, oh, I don't want to put that on my body. It might do something, but you know it's not going to do anything because there's no drugs, no chemicals. And yeah, I guess you just got to be patient and just slowly, but keep going forward. You're going to get no's, you're going to get yeses eventually.
Huge.
If that helps.
It really does. Does that help everyone? Give us a wave if it helps. Yeah, exactly. So while we're on this topic, Steph, we would love you to repeat one more time, and I would encourage everyone to get out notes. There's something called an elevator pitch around your story. As Sandra just said, she sometimes uses the word detox, right? But the challenge with that is everyone's got their own perception of what a detox is. And so you probably obviously learn in saying it a few times and watching maybe some people's reactions, you may or may not tell the process, right, of what's happened since you've started patching. Andrew was the same. Andrew, do you remember how you'd always say increased energy, and then you started to realize some people would look at you, huge nervous system, super shot already, don't really need any more energy as such, because all they can think about is no sleep and like, you know, too much of that adrenaline. And so you were the same, weren't you, Andrew? You were just learning how to use language that was going to maybe not feel as personal to someone else.
Yeah, I think you kicking me in the shins helped as well when I went to do it. And I'm like, darn it, that's right. That person doesn't need extra energy. Now my shin's sore. Where's an ice wave? So that always helps. But yeah, I had to, because I needed energy and I thrive off energy. And so what I had to learn, like everybody else, is to first ask questions. Instead of going, wow, this is what it's doing for me, is going, hey, what do you need? And then like in leadership and any of you that worked with, you know, people and teams and corporate and all of that, is that you are profiling that person to go, how can I help them? And so to me, I've stepped back into my old phase of, okay, think first, what do they need? And then with that, if I could just take a quick administrational moment, someone new may have, when you go to write one of our friends has just sent me in the chat that someone's direct messaging them maybe by accident. Whenever you go to chat on the chat, just look, it says everyone or a particular name, and you can change when it says in the chat everyone or a particular name that you want to direct message. So someone sent some questions through. We will try to get to that. All team at the end, if we have time. If not, speak to your brand partner, which could be us, your upline, and we'll help you with that at another time. But when you're writing in the chat, just look, because I do it all the time. I send messages to people by accident instead of the everyone icon.
It's awesome. So, Steph, you have an amazing model, and we want to really congratulate even your team for the way they were sharing their testimonies last week. Could you just give us the simple 3-step kind of language that you taught them? And some of our new team that's going to be on and sharing tonight, we want them to catch this, but I think all of us need to just continue to learn that.
Can I read the script? Andrew, have you got it? I've got to quickly look for it. Yeah, let me just use a keyword. One moment. because I do
Can
want
I
to get
say
it
though,
right.
her testimonies, like everyone does brilliant, so please never take this for that anyone's isn't, but hers were the sharpest, most clarified and succinct. And I said to Vanessa, that's the model now for, again, these are your businesses, so you choose what you take and not. But for our team, I'm like, this is brilliant. So I'd listen up as she speaks about this because it's really good.
And then we'll put
All
it with her
right.
permission in the Facebook group and WhatsApp. Perfect.
So don't be afraid to start writing things down. It started here and it went to there. So I will have this, where's the camera? So I'll have that leaning against the monitor while I'm speaking my voice message. I never text. So they get the inflection, they get the excitement. And you can see I'm bouncing around. I don't sit on a chair because when you sit on your chair, you kind of get comfortable and your diaphragm squeezes up. So either sit on a FIP or stand up and you'll get your enthusiasm through. You won't sound like you're talking nasally. All right, so I'll just give you the overview. Before patching, I was feeling, so there's the keyword, tired, holding on to menopause weight, and having been through a personal journey of, I don't know if I said this last week because I was on, but I've been through stage 4 cancer and I've had chronic PTSD from something else. The impact it had on my life was very difficult, trying to show up and get on with work and living all the while knowing which way was up on any given day. You push on. I'm sure you can all relate to it. This is kind of the thing. So you bring them into the conversation. I'm sure you can relate to it, but you just can't keep it up. It's not sustainable. I felt, so feeling or felt like nothing was ever going to sustainably help me during all of this. So all of a sudden they're going to have empathy because then they start to put themselves, their I into the story because they would have something else. Since patching every day, I have found the patches have helped me with my nervous system regulation, my ability to participate in deep research work that's mentally taxing and be as sharp at hour 12 as I was at hour 1. So right now I'm giving them, hey, this is what it's done for me, without saying, hey, this is what it's done for me. Because often when we put this is what it's done for me, 1% of the population can relate to that person's story, which is why we share the power of all the testimonies. So you go cherry picking in and connect them through to that. So anyway, you don't need to, so it's the feel, felt, found. It's 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes max, depending on where you're going with bringing, and always try and bring people into it. So one of the other ways I do it is, talking to menopause women, and I'll say, you know how it's really hard to keep your energy up? I'm sure you do. Like, what part of the day do you struggle with? And they're going to say mostly, from morning onwards, because most do. And I will say, I found that was the case for me. So immediately you're creating that connection. And they're not feeling like I'm talking at them. I'm actually beside them and holding their hand. And now I'm showing them this is a solution. I hope that makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. I just what you say, thank you, what we originally talked about, so we can sharpen it if there's anything you want to add or subtract later. But I just gave that what you originally gave me just to get people started in our WhatsApps and our Facebooks.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So thank you.
Well done. So those that are sharing tonight, there's a few of you, if you have the chance, even just while this team meeting is on, to just jot a few notes down. I just add in sometimes like how we found the patches, like who from, because it just shows that network, the power of the networking as well, especially some of you that found it via a stranger or a friend. So amazing. So I want to just share a little bit about, so these live events, I just want to circle back on that. If you have the chance to really think about those people who you want in a room, around a coffee shop, around a table, where you say, I'd like to invite you to an information session on, or a launch of, as we know, we do live launches. We're more than happy to call your live launch online a soft launch, like as you, or really months on, some of you that just wrote 6 months. what I've been learning in Steve and Gina's training is the power of circling back to the people you first shared with. Training 2 weeks ago, one of their facilitators taught from Saturdays, and if you aren't investing your 90 minutes, which can look like 60 minutes if you put YouTube on 1.5, if you are not investing that 60 minutes a week into your business, will be super upfront and say, you're probably going to not, you'll be slowing down the potential of what you could be doing with this business without that training. Every week you are exposed in that training to the most successful people, not only in our team, in Lifewave, and not only in Lifewave, in direct selling, because Lifewave is #1 company globally for direct selling. And so every single week, that hour of my investment, I am catching. I have a boldness. I am not a salesperson. And Andrew will testify what I have grown in the way I deliver the sharing of this technology has all come from exposure to those trainings. What I think about the business has all come from exposure to those trainings. So every single week, I make my discipline be before Monday to have watched that training, or Monday, I watch that training because it's Saturday, 1 p.m., but it's always on YouTube. This is it, Team YouTube, 1 hour after they've delivered that. So by the time you wake up on Sunday morning, it's there. I just put it into a practice. I'm listening. I'm taking some notes sometimes. But what Steve really talked about was circling back on the people you first might have contact with too much excitement, too much enthusiasm, half an hour of like delivering like what you think about Lifewave, because you were just enthusiastic. And he said, say sorry to them, like apologize to them and say, I'm so sorry. And I've got my OGs, my original friends over here, Michelle and Alan, cracking up. I can see, because they've probably got a list of people that they're like, oh yeah, that was all of us. So he said, say sorry to them. Just say, I was so excited. I was so enthusiastic. I probably overwhelmed you with like the amount of things I wanted to say. And I just want to circle back now a few months later and talk to you much more impactfully around what I've seen. But I'd first like you to ask me any questions from even when I was like that. And so he said some of those people haven't talked to you since, because it was like last night, that was a joke. This one lady, she goes, I confess, like I ghosted you for the last like 5 months. I dodged you in church. I didn't want to have this conversation with you that I had early on. And she said, I thought it was Amway. Like, let's confess, like I thought it was Amway. I just sort of, and she got on the phone to her husband and she goes, this is not Amway. Because the husband goes, don't you dare spend a single cent when you go walk in that door, is how he like left her to come to this meeting last night. Excuse me. And she just said, this is not Amway. And she just said, this is game changing. And we're like, it is game, because she got to hear people talk. And she said, it is. And so she said, this is it. Like, I need him now to hear this. I really wish he'd come. So here's one key. If you have the chance to have anything in person that's not recorded, though this is recorded and we're gonna Stafford's gonna put it together and upload it just to see like what the live looked like. But if you have the chance to invite people, as much as you can, ask them to bring their significant other or their family. Like, even if they're a little older and they want to bring a child, or like bring whoever, because exposure in the room in those environments does something very, very powerful. And so she has to go home and repeat that. But there was 3 spouses in the room basically the woman's been talking to Michelle for 6 months on and off, but she goes, she's one of Michelle's closest friends, and she said, I came tonight to support you, not to come in at all to this business. At the end, her husband was investing in premium, like literally signed up at premium. And so she just said, she even apologized and said, I just had no idea. I just had no idea about what really we had in our hands, or Michelle, what you've been trying to tell us. And then she goes to her husband, what would you like to do today? And he just pointed at premium. And then they signed up their first partner right there and then from that as well. So just the power and how that happened is I said to Michelle, put one more call out. It was 45 minutes before the meeting, and we just said, is so-and-so's husband coming? She goes, I don't know. I said, ask her again. Ask her right now, will you bring your husband? Will you bring that person that really needs to hear this? The second thing we did, about 45 minutes before the meeting, we text most of her guests to confirm they were coming. Even right now, like if you've got people coming on the presentation, that's going to be amazing, by the way, with Michelle and Alison tonight, and me wrapping it up at the end. If you have anyone that you've invited onto that call tonight, circle back with them. People's lives are full. People's lives are busy. They are not going to remember often even the thing they've said yes to and committed to. So we confirmed with them that they were coming. And the second thing we put in that text message is there anyone else you think you would like to bring, because they are welcome as well? So you can do that earlier on, obviously, than 45 minutes, but that's how one of them brought their daughter along. So just a few strategies for you to really keep in mind. Wendy, I was literally just about to celebrate and just speak into your huge event that you've been planning since the day you started patching, pretty much, haven't you? So just quickly tell the team about what you're doing down there in Victoria.
Hi, everyone. So, yes, I'm from Shepparton in country Victoria originally. And when I was first patched exactly 3 months ago, I went, I'm taking this to the Golden Valley. And so I've been doing little bits because I don't know a lot of people on the Gold Coast, but I have been meeting a lot of new people, which has been wonderful, the team here. So, yes, we have had this event going now for 2.5 months on the book. So thanks to the wonderful Ange and Dave for all their help and assistance, and Sue, my beautiful sister-in-law Dorothy, and my brother Rob, who isn't really well, but he's pushing on to, he's gone shopping. We've got little notebooks and everything. So look, we could have anyone from like 10 to 50. I'm looking probably maybe 30 or 40 people live. So it's exciting. We've been putting posters out. We're putting messages out to everyone. And we just want to launch it here to let people know. So, yeah, it's exciting. And it won't be the first one.
It won't be.
No.
And you're flying down, right?
And then we will be in Shepparton with Wendy on Saturday. And then we go to Torquay. Wendy's brother is putting us up on Saturday night in Shep, which is so lovely.
In Euroa.
We're going to have a nice long lunch and a few wines maybe. I mean, make this fun. We're going to have fun, Wendy. It's just exciting. And, country Victoria needs this big time.
Yeah.
So excited.
Definitely.
And then we're up to Torquay on Sunday. Mags and Kath, Klopstein's two sisters, two partners in crime. They're amazing. So that's Torquay, Geelong, all of that crew. And then in Melbourne for Monday afternoon. So, don't be afraid to tap into the rural communities, because they're actually really open-minded to helping themselves heal. So this is, I'm so excited.
So I love it. So I'm going to briefly now talk about what that's been like here for me. So I was brought over to speak at some conferences. That was amazing. I asked on purpose to come a little early for life, literally, for daughters we love, of course, my daughter in Florida and our daughter up here in Canada. But I knew what I had in mind when I wanted to come in person. I've been calling out to people, I've been reaching out to people, but there is something about that in person that is, you know, even the people that have said no have been saying yes, obviously, since being in person. And so what I have done is the same. We came here to, you know, I'll talk about Otter for a second. So we planned a launch. We planned it about 2 weeks ago, and I said, bring everyone into the room. And what happened is Stafford and Michelle's, the only business builder they really have is Carol. She's French. You'll love her every time you see her online. She hit manager, but just from family. And to keep family sometimes is not easy. So she's really like struggled a little bit to go that next. She shares about that. Anyway, again, we called her yesterday and said, will you be bringing your husband to, she said, I want to come see your event because we're now driving a few hours into Ontario to do her event tonight. So she's been planning one. She took flyers, she took brochures, she door knocked every single neighbor, even neighbors she hasn't met. She door knocked all of them and invited them to her event tonight. That's how she's filling her room tonight. And so that's what she's doing. But the breakthrough last night is her husband came. He was, by the end of it, he had been like, oh, my wife's just doing a little, and he told this story. He goes, I just went, she's just doing a little I don't know, Tupperware party, right? Like he's patching, but he didn't see the business. We made sure that launch had technology. Exactly. It's the This Is It presentation. That's all it is. I don't want to model anything different because I want everyone to walk away from that room with that This Is It presentation and go, I can do it myself. And so the This Is It presentation was delivered. And so then we shared about the business towards the end. That lit his eyes up. So he's been patching, love the technology. But yeah, that's Tupperware to him. It's just something he'll use, but he would never think it has the legitimacy of a business. By the end of it, he came up, he was asking every question about the compensation plan, everything about what this could be. He basically, I go with these people and I said, I'm going to show you how to walk into shops and how to go and cold call. I'll do that this afternoon. So he was talking to his wife, Carol. Oh, let's go to this shop together. Let's have Vanessa train us how to walk into that shop together. He had his list of shops he wanted to approach, of shop owners and people that could now hear about this. And he said, I know they're struggling to own that shop right now. I know they're struggling with what they're selling. Let's talk about the business of this technology. And so again, we asked her spouse to come. That lit him up. This afternoon, we're meeting in their town and we're going to door knock shops before the event tonight. And so I don't want to take too much more time because we want to get right on. But basically what I've done this week with Michelle and Allison's brochures, the hugest shout out to Michelle and Allison for just what they've done, printing off those brochures. Again, this is individual businesses. We are overwhelmed with the generosity of this team of resources. Go look at them. They're right there. If you don't have some, sorry, Michelle, we might do another round, but we're going to start to ask, I think, the senior directors to manage some of that is our idea. If we want to do that, we'll figure out how to do that together. I would walk into shops, any shop, hairdressers, nail salons, day spas, dentists, orthodontists. These are all the type of people I've been thinking about while I've been over here. And I would walk in, I'd bring a brochure. I have my booklet. It's just got the printout of like X39 and what this is. So I look a little official. I walk in, I have a sample ready and I'm wearing one. And I say, my name's Vanessa. I'm a brand partner with Lifewave. I wanted to talk about some information we have to do with wearable light therapy patches. This is a new light technology and it's helping your own body regenerate your stem cells. Would you have anyone here I could talk to the same way someone would come in and be presenting to you the latest face cream, the latest supplement, whatever I'm seeing on their shelf? And then I walked into one and she goes, this is a hairdressing salon, like really put me, you know, as you do, you get like, oh, this is a hairdressing salon, like, why are you here? And I said, I'm actually in a hairdressing salon because we have lots of brand partners that are hairdressers, because you're hearing every day, you're on the cold face of what's going on with people's health. So sometimes you are the best people to actually talk about this technology, because people need help, integrative help with their bodies. So she still said, not for me. This lady listened to that conversation, who was standing right next to her at reception. I walk away. She goes, oh, thank you. She was nice. So that was lady. I went and talked to someone else in another store. As I walked out of that other store, this man came up to me and said, are you the one with light therapy patches, light therapy technology? I said, yes. He said, can you come with me into my office? He walked me into his osteopath office and he said, the other lady at reception just told me what you were offering and I want to talk to you about it. He spent an hour with me. He is one of Montreal's top osteopaths. He said, if this is true and this is real, even though it sounds too good to be true, I need it. I need it, but I need another business. I need another stream of income. I was on the call yesterday with him and his wife. They are literally about to become major brand partners. I had him call our other osteopath friend, so they talked as professionals. And then he, before I leave, is having a live launch on Friday in his hometown, because he's not going to start with his professional circle yet. He's going to start with his personal circle, and we're launching him on Friday, because I walked in to a hairdressing salon and got put down by the person at reception and had someone else listen who told the osteopath, you might be interested in light therapy technology. So I just want to leave you with that story. It's happened again and again and again on this trip. I want to leave you with that story, because you don't know when you open your mouth who will be listening and who comes from that conversation. And so just be encouraged to just keep sharing and just keep opening your mouth, okay? So you are all doing incredible, but we want to get every one of you to manager, and we want you to help your people that have just come on become managers, and it just keeps going like that. So Lisa, I don't know if you've signed up your 4th, but by the end of the night, we want to celebrate you in advance. Lisa Jones, you are so diligent at your sharing. You just jumped aboard over a month ago. And if we go to bed tonight, well done, Lisa.
So good. We're about to start the next appointment, and I always want to honor when people bring their friends in and aren't a part of a meeting previously to finish up. So I'm going to press stop recording. So